12 News breaking news now.
Breaking news, everyone. I'm Tramai along with Troy Hayden. We are bringing you a brush fire. This is the Jones fire. This is burning near Wickenburg, and you can see a lot of fire retardant has just been dropped really within the past couple of minutes as firefighters there are battling a major fire. We apologize for the video that the camera that just went out. But again, Sky 12 over the scene right there of a brush fire burning near Wickenburg.
Yeah, several structures from what we can see appear to have been lost here. This is some video from earlier that we shot. Okay, this is tape right now. The Hassayampa River, which is an interesting river because it mostly flows underground, goes through the Wickenburg area. Wickenburg is to the north and west of the major metro Phoenix area on the way if you're driving to, say, Las Vegas. I think we got the video back. Let's go ahead and grab the live video again if we can, Andrew. And so what we can see now is this area, as Tram just mentioned, everything looks bright and pink because a Forest Service aircraft just went through and dropped fire retardant over that whole area.
Yeah, and you can see that thick, dark, black smoke there. That shows you how intense that fire is. It is burning very hot, very strong. A number of crews are there attacking it at the scene. We can see a number of fire trucks there trying to get that fire out of that mobile home park. We know that US 60 is closed in both directions at milepost 111. We also know that APS had shut off power east of US 60 as well. Less than an hour ago, folks living near that area, they were placed on a set alert, getting ready to evacuate. And then within just minutes, I would say within the past 20 minutes or so, that's when they were told to evacuate. Again, this is the area from US 93 to Zabel Mine Road, including areas east and west of US 60.
So if you're driving again from the Valley to Las Vegas, if you want to leave anytime soon, we don't know when these closures are going to end, you're not going to be able to get through Wickenburg, which is generally the way you go. The US 60 is pretty much the main roadway through that town. An older town, it's been around for a long time. It has an old west feel. There are some old dude ranches out there, but there's also a very large trilogy retirement community along the US 93, which is the highway you pick up after the 60 to head down to Las Vegas. Now, it's tough to see here because of the way this is framed, but the main fire that we're seeing where the structures are lost is to the bottom of your screen right now. I don't know if we can drop that lower third, Andrew, back there so we can see that. There, it's a little bit better. We saw, and we don't have an official count, but by my count, at least 4 and possibly more. It looked like RV units were burning down there and a regular structure as well. But you can see here where this fire may have started because we got a lot of black and salt cedar like we saw in the Hazen fire last week that was burning out in the West Valley here. And
that is a very thick brush, obviously, that has a lot of fuel behind it, hence the black, thick smoke. It looks like, again, just as Troy had mentioned, that this could be where that fire started, just because you see the green brush behind it there. But it looks like, based on maybe perhaps the winds or so, that it's moving clearly up towards those businesses. But again, originally that was just starting as a brush fire, and now those flames have moved toward that mobile home fire, and you can see just a couple of specks of that fire still burning. You can see just above that lower third. That's a flame right there. But again, firefighters are still trying to attack it from burning that mobile home fire to the left of your screen, top left.
Yeah, and we saw, a mobile home. Tram and I were looking at it right before we came on the air, and you could see smoke kind of billowing out of one. And I would say within a minute, it was fully engulfed. So those RV units, those mobile homes, they burn very, very rapidly just by the way they're built. So again, if you're just joining us, this is burning in the area of Wickenburg. Let's put the map up, Andrew, if we can quickly, just to kind of orient you on where this is. So you're saying seeing the main Phoenix area. So again, this is north and west. And that Jones fire has shut down. That main line you see running through kind of from the bottom right to the left part of your screen is the US 60. So the part to the right of the US 93, which is at the top of your screen, is closed down. And also the US 93 to the top part of your screen is closed down. So that's the main route going from the valley again to Las Vegas.
And we just got some new information about some power outages. We understand that perhaps a dozen or so people are affected by this power outage. APS had shut off the power clearly because of this fire, and that should remain in effect maybe 30 minutes or so. But again, we just have to, see how this fire goes and whether or not firefighters can really get a handle on it.
It's interesting too because we had a very mild April. Right? We had that warm March, then we had a very mild April. So here we are now, we're getting up into our high triple digits. We saw that Hazen fire that was burning out near Buckeye last week. I think that's mostly been mopped up at this point. But here we are. Chris Dunn, let's bring you in here just to talk about a little bit. Weather conditions, very hot, very dry today, perfect conditions for this fire. I don't know about the winds though. What do the winds look like?
Well, we saw in some of the helicopter shots, the smoke, it wasn't blowing sideways. It was going pretty much straight up. So the winds, not as much of an issue as the three other factors, the fuel, the temperature, and the humidity. We're finding 110 Sun City right now, officially 106 in Phoenix. We made it as hot as 108 today, and 106 in Surprise, Buckeye 109. The relative humidity is down below 10%. This is our dry heat, but that's also a contributing factor for the fire danger. Only 8% the relative humidity in Surprise, just 5% in Phoenix, Scottsdale, and 3% the relative humidity in Fountain Hills. So we have extreme heat, especially for this time of the year. Fuels ignite and burn faster when it's really hot like this. It's also very dry. We just showed you the low relative humidities, and we are dealing with that severe drought. As Tori mentioned, we had really warm weather in March. We had a very mild April, and we've also had a very dry winter and spring. Only 11% of our normal rainfall officially at Sky Harbor since the first of the year. Gusty winds, not an issue right now. But later on this week, say later tomorrow night and into Wednesday and Thursday, we are expecting the wind to pick up. So just with the Hazen fire, we're hoping that things kind of get settled rather quickly before the wind starts to pick up. 14-mile-per-hour gust in Prescott tomorrow afternoon. This is for Tuesday at 3 p.m. And you can see how the colors kind of get brighter here along the Colorado River. So there will be an increase in wind well out to the west, but not necessarily in and around the valley, and the Wickenburg area is kind of in between. So kind of take the difference between 5 and 14. That's about what we'll experience in the Wickenburg area tomorrow with the increase in wind. We are still under that extreme heat warning that goes until tomorrow, also along the Colorado River. So high heat and high humidity. We have a weather impact alert for today and tomorrow. Hottest weather of the year. Hydrate, avoid the heat of the day, and be careful if you're out there because the fire danger will be high with these conditions as long as it persists. And we have the high heat. We also have increasing wind over the next several days. So that's only going to increase our fire danger around the state. Back to you guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at this live fire again. If you're just joining us right now, because we're outside of our normal news programming, this is a wildfire called the Jones Fire that is burning in the town of Wickenburg to the north and west of our downtown Metro Phoenix area. And it has forced a number of evacuations and the closure of a major highway.
Yeah, specifically the area from US 93 to Zabel Mine Road. This includes areas east and west of US 60. That is in the evacuation area. It was on set status. Folks there, they were getting ready to leave, but now within the last 30 minutes or so, they have all had to evacuate. US 60, we know, is closed in both directions at milepost 111. APS has shut off power. A number of people have been affected, but as we broaden out this view from Sky 12, you can see, sorry again about the technical difficulties, but as you just saw, there was to the left a heavily fueled area with a lot of black smoke. Now we're back again, and then to the right side of your screen, a lot of that lighter smoke. We know this fire, though, just seeing the flames on both sides of this dry riverbed, it seemed to, spark maybe to the one to the side that's north of it. But again, it has obviously gone towards these businesses, what started as a brush fire, and then what looks to be a mobile home park that it has ignited.
Yeah, and it's hard to tell because we're out so far, but this gives you an idea. Again, we're having some troubles with our signal out there, but it gives you the scope of where this fire is burning. And it looks like it is burning right along that Hassayampa River bottom, which we see a lot. It was very similar to what we saw out in Buckeye, because that's where the thicker vegetation is. That's where you get your taller trees and brush. And again, this is tape from earlier. Again, as we're looking at probably some salt cedar burning down there. And it looks like from the way, from right here, it looks like we're in a different area of the fire because the smoke seemed to be going to the left. We have our live shot back again. This is a good one. So it showed you burned from that river bottom area where there was just basically brush, but into this area here where there's that mobile home park and that black smoke coming out right now is that mobile home or RV park where, there's another drop right there. So that's a water drop. They're so precise with that. Yeah. And that's where we saw the structures lost.
And it's interesting because the red part that you see, that was a tanker that dropped retardant on there just right after 3 o'clock. So again, they're really trying to tackle this fire from the air and on the ground too. But really, it was very quick how fast this fire moved from what started in the I would say maybe past 1:30 or so, where this area was in a set status. And then within an hour, folks had to evacuate the area there. But you can see where the fire started. A lot of it has dissipated. It looks like maybe crews are getting a better handle on that fire. You can see to the far right-hand side of your screen where that white smoke starts to billow up. And then quite the contrast on the far left side of your screen that just got out of the screen right there. That's where a bulk of the fire, the heaviest part of the fire, is really igniting that mobile home park.
So if you're familiar with Wickenburg, to the right of your screen, US 60 is going basically from the right of your screen to the left of your screen. Phoenix would be to the right. And then heading out to the 93 in Las Vegas would be to your left. So this is when you very first kind of enter Wickenburg as you're going in, and off to the left you kind of see that river bottom and the scrub, but that is pretty much burned. So we do want to show you those structures we talked about. We have some tape from just a short time ago when that fire got down into that RV park area. And you can see the firefighters are there at the scene, but man, look at that black smoke billowing up there. And those definitely are structures burning. And as you look around, it looks like there's a couple of trucks down there. Maybe they are RVs, maybe they are commercial vehicles.
Yeah. And even more
flames
burning to the very left as well. So it's kind of jumped.
And the other thing I'll say is this. You see those buildings right now to your left that are all white? We saw a tanker come down and drop all that retardant. And for a second I thought, oh my gosh, they missed what they were doing. No, they knew exactly what they were doing. They put that retardant right on those buildings. Because the last thing you want is to have an ember come up and land in an eave of a building, and then that whole building goes up. So a very precise retardant drop by the firefighters out there.
And look at how close, really, all of those buildings are kind of packed together on both sides of that main thoroughfare right there. And so really, these firefighters are really trying to tackle it before it spreads to another business to the left there. But we're still trying to figure out what exactly caused this fire. Fire officials have not released the cause yet, but as you can see, obviously in that riverbed, so dry, it doesn't look as though, there's much traffic there. So who really knows, how this started?
Oh, it could be anything at this point. When you've got, look, we are in a 20-plus year drought, but it was an extremely dry winter. It was an extremely dry and hot spring. And I have a feeling, unfortunately, this is just the beginning. I have a feeling we're going to see, boy, and again, there are multiple either vehicles or RVs and possibly regular buildings that burned here. This is tape that I haven't even seen yet. This is just coming up. This must have been before we went on the air. Yeah. I feel like they've knocked the flames down considerably since this point. But yeah, there's going to be a loss of property for sure here. I have a feeling that this is just going to be the beginning of what we're dealing with this summer, especially when the winds start picking up. It's going to be very, very difficult to get a handle on it. So here we go. We're out. Is this live again?
It looks like.
Okay, no, the chocolate stuff. But I think this is just later than what we just showed you, and you can see the smoke has gotten lighter.
And the white smoke, that is a good sign, because that means that the fire is, firefighters hopefully got a better control of the fire, even though you saw a couple of flames still within that heavy, thick brush. But that black smoke, I mean, that's very indicative of just a lot of the fuel and how strong and intense that fire is, and how firefighters really are trying to get a hold of that fire from spreading even into more nearby businesses that you can see are just jam-packed along the right side of that street. But again, US 60 closed in both directions at milepost 111. This is the area between US 93 to Zabel Mine Road. That whole area has been evacuated. And again, we also know that APS has shut off power to a number of areas in that area because of the fire.
Yeah, and to the top left of your screen, that's kind of the heart of Wickenburg there. So that's how close it got into that old Western. There's a hat maker down there. They do like Old West kind of tours and things. And again, there are a couple of famous dude ranches from the 50s as you kind of go further down US 93. But that's a good look. Remember we showed you earlier how clean and white those buildings were? This is after they dropped that retardant on those buildings. And you can see it's that fluorescent red, which really kind of helps firefighters too from the air know exactly where they've dropped their retardant down. But again, multiple buildings burning out there. So we talked about the conditions, and Chris, you brought up that and I'm looking at it here, you're right, the smoke is not laying down on its side like it's blowing by 20 or 30 mile an hour winds. But boy, it's hot out there today, and as I just talked about, things are very, very dry. Right,
and imagine if we did have 20 or 30 mile per hour winds on top of all of the pre-existing conditions, then we would be dealing with a different fire situation. Do have an update on the closure, US 60 from Morristown, which is down here, all the way up to the Wickenburg area. It's eastbound from Wickenburg and westbound from Morristown. So if you're just down below, say, Surprise, you're trying to get to Wickenburg, US 60 is closed right now. No estimate on the reopening time. And I brought up the radar here. This radar signature is actually the smoke. So it's not just for showing rain. The radar is actually detecting the smoke because the smoke is made up of little particles, and the radar beam hits those particles of smoke, bounces back to the radar site, and so we can actually see the smoke from this fire in Wickenburg on the Doppler radar as this area, it's not expanding and not really being blown off in one direction or another. So another sign that the wind is not driving this fire. We have dry conditions. We have hot conditions. We have plenty of fuel around. So those are the main factors. At least wind is not a factor at this point in time. You can see in the video back behind me, we still have that smoke that is rising up and not being driven by the winds, but the smoke clearly showing up on the radar. And temperature-wise, we're right around 110 in some spots of the valley. In fact, Sun City right now reporting 110 degrees. Pretty close to that in Wickenburg. 111 in Levine and 107 in Tempe right now. Another key factor for fire danger, we know it quite well here in Arizona, low relative humidities. Just about the entire valley below 10%, only 5% are relative humidity. So it's hot and it's dry, but at least we don't have the wind, guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. Right now, we are joined by Jacqueline Ramos. She owns Las Flores Nursery. Jacqueline, can you hear us?
Yes.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Tell us where you are in terms of the fire. Is your business located near this brush fire?
We are not too close. We can't see the smoke from here and all that. We're not too close, but we have been on standby for evacuation.
All right, so when did you first hear about this, and what are you seeing, and what are people talking about?
We first heard about this when we actually saw the traffic stopping, and we looked out and saw there was smoke, and then we didn't see any traffic passing at all. And then after that, we just figured, something was going on, and probably about 1 o'clock, they came and said to be on standby for evacuation.
So you've gathered your essentials, I would hope, and you are ready to evacuate at a moment's notice?
Yes, we've gathered everything. We have clothes. We have all our important stuff. My son just took my dogs right now, so we are pretty much, as soon as they tell us, we are ready to go.
I can't imagine it's a good feeling to be doing what you're doing right now. Can you take us through kind of how you're feeling about this? I mean, first of all, when you're told you may have to get out, what are the things you grab? You talked about your dogs and some records. What do you grab?
The first thing for me was just grabbing our important papers like birth certificates and any documents like that. I really don't worry about anything else. And then just a change of clothes. And if I can, I have my pictures ready just because, I need to have photos of my parents for me.
Right. So, I mean, are you, as where you are right now, does it look like the fire is getting closer to you? Do you feel like you're in pretty good shape at this point?
It looks like we're in pretty good shape. It doesn't look like it's getting too close, so we're doing okay.
And how were you notified that you could be evacuated?
The police came by and was knocking on doors and telling everybody to be on standby, ready to evacuate when just to be ready. So when they let us know, just to leave.
Are you watching our video by any chance right now? And can you see what we're talking about? Do you know the area that's burning? All those different structures, like it looks like RVs and trucks. What is burning right now?
At the moment, from where I am, I can't see.
Okay.
I can't. All I can see is the smoke. I can't see anything else. But I just whatever I see that the people post on Facebook. I don't really watch the news much, so it's just whatever they post on Facebook and whatever I can get on my TV.
Right. So it looks like, if I can just explain it, as if I'm driving from Phoenix into town and I look off to the left, so I've just kind of barely gotten into town. I kind of passed that area where it's mostly the Hassayampa River down there. When I see my first structures, it looks like it's a large RV kind of park off to, what would it be, the south side of the 60 there. Are there RV parks spread out through there?
There are a couple.
And then what else is in that area? It looks like there's a number of buildings next to it as well. I don't think it's the actual downtown Wickenburg area, but it looks like it's just on the outskirts.
No, it's actually on the outskirts of downtown Wickenburg, where it's like where Jones Ford is and the restaurants and all that. That's what it is. Downtown is past the roundabout. Right. But it does look like it's more this way, and it looks like it's more in the wash. That's what we were told, that it's heading more toward the wash.
And do you own a business, the Las Flores Nursery? Is that business near this fire at all?
Not too close, but we are seeing, like I said, we can see the smoke. We can see, my husband went out there looking and he saw a little bit of the fire, but he says it's not where it looks like it's coming this way.
Yeah, and that's good
Stayed
news.
more toward the river, toward the wash.
And the other good news, I think, is that it doesn't look like the wind is very strong right now. Have you been out in your neighborhood? Or all of your neighbors packing their cars and things? What's your neighborhood look like?
Everything is like business like usual. Everybody's just doing their thing. The only thing that closed was the gas station, the Maverick. Other than that, everything is just business as usual. Everybody's out there just walking around and, just looking at the smoke and all that.
How far away are you from this fire? Do you know?
We're probably like driving distance. I would say it's probably about 2 minutes from here.
And the Hassayampa is interesting because it's dry most of the year, but the water flows like underneath the ground, correct? I mean, I would go ahead.
Yes, it does. It does flow underneath the ground, and when it rains very heavily in Prescott, that's when we get water here in the Hassayampa.
And then, but you do have some pretty thick vegetation that grows around the river as well, correct?
Yes.
And it's mostly that salt cedar and things like that. Have firefighters been out in your neighborhood? I know that's something that we're doing in closer to the valley here, where they come through and kind of clear brush out around structures and homes and things like that. Are there fire mitigation efforts that happen in your neighborhood?
At the moment right now they are not, but they normally do that a lot around the Hassayampa, and try to get some of that cleared off. But right now it just looks like you just see fire trucks passing by trying to put this fire out.
For people who don't know what Wickenburg's all about, I have done numerous stories up there and I've covered different things. You're considered like one of the roping capitals of the world, right? For rodeo, you have like a hat maker. You're considered a very Western town, but there's a decent amount of people who live there. Describe Wickenburg for me.
It's a nice town. It's a nice retirement town. There are a lot of arenas, a lot of roping. That's mainly what people come here for, is for the roping arenas. So it's pretty much a peaceful town.
Right. And then something like this, I would imagine, is a very big deal to a smaller town, because it looks like, and I don't know if people are actually living in this RV park that we're watching burn on the air right now, or if people just have their RVs parked there. But I mean, people are being heavily impacted by this as we're losing structures here.
There are some RV parks here that the people are living in that they are being impacted by. I'm not sure exactly right now which ones they are, but I heard that one of them is probably being impacted, and they've also already evacuated the elementary school.
Jacqueline, I'm just curious, how long have you lived in Wickenburg?
I have been here in Wickenburg for 30 years now.
Wow, 30 years. And, knowing that this fire is ripping through the downtown area, businesses like that RV park going up in flames. I mean, and you yourself as a business owner, I mean, this has got to be so difficult and concerning for you.
It is. I mean, we're just here waiting to see what they tell us, because we just think, if the house does burn down, the business burns down, that's our livelihood. What are we going to do?
Yeah, and I'm sure, a lot of people are thinking that today. But I mean, the last video that we saw, our helicopter unfortunately had to leave, but it looks like they were doing a good job of not knocking that fire down. And, it seems like once fire crews get their resources there with the air tankers and things like that, they can do a really good job of saving structures. But thank you very much for talking with us. Stay safe, and hopefully you don't have to evacuate. Nice talking with you today.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
Thank you. You guys have a good day also.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Should we go and do the exact evacuations again?
Yeah, let's go through the evacuations. Again, this is the Jones fire. It is burning near Wickenburg, as you just saw just a couple of seconds ago. It had engulfed a mobile home park area. There's been closures from US 93 to Zabel Mine Road. This includes areas east and west of US 60. Earlier within the last hour, it was on set status. Obviously now people are being forced to evacuate, and we know that the US 60 is closed in Morristown as well. So
that's a ways away.
Yeah, that is a ways away. It was also closed in both directions at milepost 111. So clearly firefighters are still trying to get a hold of this fire. The last we saw, there was a couple of hot spots still burning at the bottom of the riverbed there, and also still at that mobile home park. And hopefully it has not spread to other neighboring businesses in that area, because it is quite the cluster.
But it looked like there were numerous structures that were lost there. And this is something else interesting that just came out from railroad tracks west of 60 to east of 60. You hope that the railroad tracks aren't involved there. That's a major railway that goes through there that provides, so many goods to the Phoenix metro area and beyond. And so that's an economic factor as well. All right, let's get to Chris Dunn again now. And again, Chris, as we just looked out there a moment ago, if you're just joining us, big wildfire burning in the Wickenburg area that's causing some evacuations. It didn't appear that we had strong winds, but again, a hot day. Right.
We have pretty much four factors that we take into consideration when it comes to a fire. And one of them is the wind, and that's something that we haven't seen. This is the view of some of the smoke from the fire as seen by the radar. This is Wickenburg, and there's the smoke coming up from the fire. It's not being blown in one direction or another, so we don't have wind fanning the flames of this fire. We do have heat, we do have low humidity, and we also have plenty of fuel. And we have drought conditions. We're almost in a perpetual drought around here the last 10, 15 years, but it has been a very dry winter and spring. And I do have a brand new update from our official source. This is really the first acreage number that they put out, 100 acres. That's just coming across a few minutes ago, 100 acres for the Jones fire in Wickenburg right now. And as we mentioned, US 60 is closed. If you're trying to get out of the valley and heading up the 60 towards Wickenburg, right here, this Morristown, that's where the highway is closed. So you are not able to go up the 60 towards Wickenburg because of this fire. Temperatures 106 to 110 right now, and mention that the low relative humidity, everybody is below 10%. So we have all the ingredients except for strong gusty winds, and that will also help in the firefighting effort because they're able to get the firefighting assets up in the air and to be able to knock down this fire. We've seen water drops, we've seen fire retardant drops on that area, and hopefully that will be very helpful. Extreme heat, that fuels the ignite and burn faster. Very dry, low humidity. We've had severe drought conditions, and also the gusty winds that have not been around so far, but later this week we are expecting the wind to pick up, and the fire danger numbers will also start to increase with that increase in wind, especially along the Colorado River. But we're most concerned with this area right here with the Jones fire that we're covering right now. Here's the wind forecast as we go through the day on Tuesday. 6-mile-per-hour winds in Phoenix, 14 Prescott, but stronger winds along the Colorado River. As we go through the overnight period, the winds tend to back off, and we will find the winds relaxing by first thing on Wednesday morning. This is 5:30 in the morning, so less than 10 miles per hour. But by Wednesday afternoon, the wind's starting to pick back up again, and later in the day, we'll find the winds actually increasing. So Wednesday and Thursday will be kind of key periods here for any fire across the state, but especially in that area of Wickenburg. We also have the extreme heat warning. On top of the low humidity, we have the high heat, and at least we don't have that wind fanning those flames. This extreme heat warning goes until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Also includes the Colorado River through tonight, so just for tonight. Today and tomorrow, weather impact alert for this hot weather. Just kind of take it easy, avoid the heat of the day, and make sure you hydrate. And we'll be keeping track of the weather situation as it relates to the fire danger around the state over the course of the next several days, as long as that remains elevated. Back to you guys.
All right, Chris, thank you. You know, Chris talked about Morristown, and if you ever drive out that area to go to Wickenburg, oh, sounds loud. We got you, Gabby. So you go up and basically you take Grand Avenue off the 303, and as you're going north and west, Morristown's your last little town you hit before you get out in the rural area. Gabby, I assume that's where you're driving out there. Your audio's not great. What have you seen so far?
Well, we're on a detour going kind of the back way into Wickenburg because the US 60, as you know, has been shut down on both sides. So they actually have us taking the 10 up to 339th Avenue, which will take us over to Vulture Mine Road, and then the back way into Wickenburg. So right now we can't see, much from anything where we're at. We're still about an hour out from the area. So we've just been tracking everything on our phones. But for anyone trying to get back that way this afternoon, they'll have to be taking this detour around to get to Wickenburg, as I'm sure some people who work more in the Phoenix metro area are going to have to be dealing with as rush hour approaches. Troy?
I was going to say, it has to be, considering you are on this detour, you're forced to go on this detour. I'm sure others are being forced too. The traffic being pretty heavy. What are you seeing?
Well, we've kind of made it past the rush hour traffic that you would typically see coming from Phoenix to the West Valley. It's a drive I make every afternoon. So we've got past that traffic because we're kind of now farther west on the 10. So not too bad as traffic as I'll point you out my window. We're out past the desert when you're driving towards California now. So just something for people to be aware of if they are coming from the Phoenix metro area back towards the West Valley tonight. They may hit a little bit more traffic because normally you'd be able to hop on the 303 and get there a lot quicker. But when we left our newsroom downtown Phoenix, it said nearly 2 hours, and we're just now still about an hour out from Wickenburg.
Yeah, you're having to go a major detour. So if you're looking at a map, and this is Phoenix here, you'd shoot up this way, to get to Wickenburg. But instead, Gabby's having to go all the way out west and then go all the way up north to get around it. And you sure will hit that. So, all right, so Gabby, we're going to let you continue on. Yeah, as soon as you get up there, we'll get some reports from you up there as well. Thank you, Gabby.
And right now, we have on the phone with us Michelle. She's the owner of Los Viajeros Inn. Michelle, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, tell us what you are experiencing right now. We've heard that a number of evacuees are at your business.
Yes, yep, and they're calling. The phones are ringing off the hook. A lot of the work crews that are at the different hotels, the Cobblestone and the Best Western, they are coming here because that whole downtown has been evacuated, and both of those hotels have been evacuated.
Wow. All right. So tell us where you are in relation to all of that. Are you on that first trip when you first are kind of coming into town, or are you on the 93 side?
So I'm more closer to the 93, yeah. So we're on Tegner. So, but I'm seeing a lot of traffic that's coming from the 93 because that's being backed up too because they can't get to the roundabout. And so, yeah, like there's probably more cars right now coming down this road than I've ever seen. Yeah, but they're not going to be able to get through unless they go down Tegner and they can turn and go underneath that bridge, and they could go maybe out Vulture Mine. That would be the only way to, at this point, to get out of town.
Yeah, but we know Vulture Mine is open. All right. So when did you first hear about this? And are you on set status? Where are you in terms of evacuation? Take me through your afternoon, if you would.
Well, just everything's normal, and my husband was the one that actually pointed it out to me, and we come running out to the front, and you could see the flames in the distance. And then, of course, we were watching the the Wickenburg Bulletin, and we were seeing the Ford Jones dealership, and he was kind of walking us through and so forth. And then we heard that it jumped the road. And then, we were seeing that it was kind of getting to the Big O Tire, and it just, it just kept looking like it was getting worse. So we actually got in our vehicle and drove down there, and you could see the black smoke was just, wow, it was just sky high, and I got to see the plane drop some water, but it needed to keep dropping out, not just one load, like it needed to be multiple loads. So it looked like it kind of helped for a minute and then poof right back up. So two of my housekeepers from Super 8, because I manage that one too, they had to go because they're being evacuated. I've already had people that are working here that are being evacuated, so I don't know what it's going to turn out to be. It's looking pretty bad.
And again, based on where you are in relation to this fire, because unfortunately, with our Sky 12 had to leave the area, do you know maybe perhaps how bad that fire is now? I mean, if it's gotten worse or if it's gotten better at all? Any word from any of the people that have come to your establishment?
Nope, I haven't gotten any of. I just know that one of the work crews that I know that's staying at the Cobblestone, their boss from Phoenix just called, and they're moving them over here. So I may know more soon when the guys actually get here. I mean, the guys may not even be here yet. I'm thinking maybe they're coming from Baghdad Mine, because that's how they do. They come from the Baghdad Mine, and then they come here, and then they kind of spread out throughout the few hotels that are here in town. And so they probably haven't even gotten off work yet to know. But no, I don't know. I mean, I can still see, we're standing in front of Los Viajeros. I can see the black smoke. So I don't know if it's any better or worse. I mean, it looks pretty bad from where I'm standing at right now.
All right, so you told us earlier, just a second ago, that the fire was getting near a Big O. And the video we're showing right now on our air, it looks like the fire is inside some sort of an RV park or maybe a mobile home park, and several of those were burning. What else is in this immediate area where the fire was burning? You said Big O Tires. What else is there?
Yeah, there's the Ford Jones dealership. There's like a Taco Bell. There's some gas stations. They just built a new Maverick. I'm not sure if it's even gotten to there, but that's just a catty corner from the dealership. Brand new Maverick they just built there. It hasn't even been open, but I don't know, like maybe a month or so.
Yeah.
So I know that's right there, and there's some fast food places right through there. And I believe there's a mobile home park on both sides that's also right in that area as well.
We do know, we should let our folks know that the Red Cross has opened up a shelter at Wickenburg High School as well. So that
yep, I heard that. I did hear that. Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
That's another place that, folks, if they need immediate help, they can go there for some resources. But obviously, some folks are heading to your inn to get some help too, right?
Yep. And I have the Los Viajeros and the Super 8. And so, yep, we put our rates down to $89. So anybody that needs a place to stay, I have plenty of rooms of both of them available right now.
All right. Yeah. How many rooms do you have available? I mean, you have enough for, you think, several more people coming in, or,
Absolutely. Yeah. Right now, I mean, I know the phone's ringing off the hook. So I don't know. We probably got a good 50, maybe 50, 60 between the two that we could do.
All right. And that's good to get out there. All right. So how long have you lived in Wickenburg? Have you ever seen anything like this? Has fire ever gotten this close to the downtown area?
Not that I've ever seen. I've only been here for a year. I know we did have a fire last year, but it was a little further out. Yeah, but this is the closest one that I've seen. But my front desk Jenny, who's been here for years and years, she said that we did have something similar to this also last year. So maybe before I got here in April, that we had kind of the same scenario going on.
Yeah, it's got to be unnerving, right? I mean, and it's not just Wickenburg. I mean, we have places down here in the center of the valley where the desert comes right up to homes and businesses. It's been a very, very dry winter, right? And it's been a dry and warm spring. I would imagine this is not, it's kind of setting your nerves on edge a bit to watch a big piece of your town, or at least the edges of it, burn.
Yeah, exactly. And all the animals and all the people, yep. And two of my housekeepers had to leave because they're being evacuated. And I heard that maybe one of their homes had burned. So I don't know if that's true yet, but yeah, it's very scary because we are a very close-knit community, and we all definitely try to help each other out. And so, yeah, it's
Michelle,
it's pretty tough.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about the businesses, and you had just mentioned, you know, your housekeepers too. They had to leave to check on their homes. I'm wondering, as far as homes and residents nearby, how far away are neighborhoods from this downtown area?
Oh man, they're scattered out everywhere, hun. I mean, there's little areas all through there. You know, one guy has a house there, and there's a mobile home park. I mean, yeah, it's kind of scattered out all through there. You know, I couldn't give you an accurate probably number, but yeah, I mean, there's just little houses everywhere. So.
You know, it's an interesting community, especially at how it's growing. I know you've got that trilogy, kind of a retirement community a little further down on 93, and that's pretty much a brand new community. But you also have some of those older, beautiful neighborhoods surrounded. There's an old dude ranch, isn't there? Not too far down 93 as well. So there's a lot of historic buildings there in Wickenburg, right?
There is a ton. Yes, there is. Yep.
And
One of the popular spots here is the Rancho Bar 7, and I know all those people just got evacuated, and the Hacienda Barbecue, and there's a whole bunch of restaurants and stuff that everyone comes to when they come here downtown, and they're all being evacuated.
Okay, so can you name off the ones that you know that are evacuated right now?
And so I know that the Bar 7, the Hacienda Barbecue, what is the other one on the Cobblestone Hotel, probably the Best Western because it's next kind of down the ways. There's a Verizon over there. My goodness, there's some antique shops going on down there. There's a Mecca Bar. What's some of the other ones? Circle K. I mean, there is a Circle K on the corner right there too, catty corner from the Bar 7.
Right. And those are all the businesses you encounter as you're coming into town from Phoenix on the 60, right? Those first businesses you come into town.
Yep, when you go through the roundabout and then you come down right there, that little area. Yep, that's where everyone goes.
And as far as you know, I mean, I know you're also watching your local media and social media there. Have any major structures beyond these mobile homes been lost?
Not that I'm aware of, and not yet. I don't. Yeah. I know there's an Aztec RV park that's right down there. I would think that one would probably be.
And that's right by the river bottom, because the video that we have on our screen right now is it looks like an RV park that's on the river bottom. And then next to it are a number of brick and mortar buildings that look like businesses to me.
So that would probably be the ones that are like right on the other side of the river bottom right there. Yeah, I'm not sure what all of those are. I know that there's a portion behind them that is the Best Western, because Best Western kind of spreads out throughout a couple little spots, you know.
So you're looking at our picture right now?
I'm not. I'm just trying to.
Oh, good. Well, you're describing our picture very well. I'm impressed. Yeah. So they came through and they dropped a bunch of fire retardant on these buildings that we're showing you right now. If we showed you a little later picture, they'd all be bright pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Michelle, we're gonna let you go. We appreciate your time right now, and please, I hope you and everybody stay safe up there. And
can we let her pitch her place one more time? Because I think you're doing something noble. So you've dropped all your rates right now for people who are out of their homes. Tell us again how much the rates are and which establishments you manage / own.
So the Super 8 and the Los Viajeros, and we put the rates at $89 plus tax.
All right. And you said you still have probably like 50 rooms left, what you said. Something like that.
About 50 rooms. Yep. And I know the phones are ringing off the hook, but so, and Denny's is right next door on the other side of it. So if anyone's needing to eat, I mean, at least we have the Denny's. We'll have the Denny's. I don't know about any of this stuff downtown.
This is when communities really come together and help each other. And Michelle, we're going to let you go so that you can answer all those phones that are ringing off the hook.
Yes, thank you.
We appreciate your time. Stay safe. Thank you so much, Michelle. We should also
all right, you're welcome to send us all prayers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We also should mention that there is a Red Cross shelter at Wickenburg High School. So in case people are listening and watching 12 News, know that that is a resource if you need to go there, if it is time for you to evacuate right now. All right, we want to check on the roads. We've mentioned a lot that US 60 is closed in both directions at milepost 111, even in Morristown. Crystal Long is here with a check on the roads. What else should people know, Crystal?
Okay, so Tram, I've got this zoomed out so you could see from the valley perspective, how it is positioned to our north and west, and just how long that stretch of freeway closure is. So now let's go ahead and zoomed in. You can see both directions completely taken away between Morristown and Wickenburg. So first of all, as I step out, you'll see that that stretch of the US 60 eastbound, that barricade's going to go up right there in Wickenburg, and then the roadblocks are out for the westbound lanes of the US 60 here in Morristown. So both directions, you have to completely take them out of the equation. And then when it comes to any of those side streets in Wickenburg, know that not only are they going to be bunched up with traffic that is booted off from the US 60 and having to zigzag around to get around those roadblocks, but also there might be some changing closures throughout this as the flames continue to get fanned and move along and consume more landscapes, and fire crews need to get to certain areas. So be ready for that maybe a road you accessed, a couple of minutes ago may be taken away down the road. But in that bigger picture, it is this long stretch of the US 60, and we're in a rural area here. It's not like you have a whole lot of plan Bs or even Cs at this point. You're going to want to avoid that area at all costs. ADOT is saying there's just no way to estimate when they're going to be able to reopen these things, and it might not be a full opening either. There might be alternating lanes. There's all kinds of things that are going to play a part here in how this evolves. So keep it right here, and we'll keep you on top of it as we get any new changes or details, but definitely take this out of the travel plans. You're going to have to really go around this one big time. Say if you're going to Vegas, you're going to need to do I-17 or maybe I-10 as a way to really get around this thing. So again, plan on that closure of the US 60, both directions there from Wickenburg to Morristown. Back to you.
Yeah, you're adding, I think, at least an hour and a half, if not a couple of hours, if you're driving to Vegas with this shutdown for sure. Thank you, Crystal, for that. So again, if you're just joining us now, major brush fire burning in Wickenburg, forcing evacuations, multiple structures, at least RVs we saw burning out there. We had no confirmation on that. But we've got Gabriella Becerra, who is walking out there or on her way out there right now. Gabby, what are you seeing?
Well, we're on that detour kind of around the US 60 to get to Wickenburg right now. So we just got off the I-10. We're now on Indian School Road heading over to Vulture Mine Road, which will take us into Wickenburg the back way. Normally, you would be able to take the 10 to the 303 to the 60 and get there relatively a lot quicker, but this detour added about an hour to our route to get there. So we're kind of out here in just desert, open space, trying to get to Wickenburg as fast as we can to check on the fire, monitoring it from our phones. There was just an update from the Arizona Department of Forestry and Fire. We are just taking that detour like a lot of people probably are who work in the Phoenix metro area and are trying to get back to Wickenburg. Not only sit in rush hour traffic today, but have to take this detour that goes the back way into Wickenburg. Troy?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what was the update from Fire and Forestry?
They just put out an update that says Jones Fire update 100 plus acres and actively burning within the Hacienda Rim and along both sides of the US 60. Ground resources, including engines, a dozer, and hand crew are working in tandem with large aircraft to slow the fire's rate of speed. They included some pictures of that as well. So we know they're busy. I've been in contact with their PIO, so hoping to speak with her as soon as we get out there and get the latest on this fire.
And those bulldozers are very effective down in those river bottoms because that's a big, powerful machine, and they can cut 6-8 foot fire break, which is what you need, especially when we've got, winds that aren't that strong right now. If you can cut an 8-foot fire break and keep the fire from jumping from one side of, you say to the wash to the other, you can really help out. This is big traffic coming out of there, huh?
Yeah, so we just turned on to 335th Avenue. This is traffic coming out of the Wickenburg area. So don't know if this is because they've hit the US 60 roadblock coming from the other direction. But so if you're coming from the other direction, you're also going to have a lot of traffic until you get to the I-10 out here.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, you've got all those people again, and I keep saying Las Vegas, but there's not really much between Wickenburg and Las Vegas with big population centers. So if you have people coming from the Las Vegas area trying to get into Phoenix, this is going to be the way they go. And you can see that huge line. All right, Gabby, thank you very much. Live pictures now out of Wickenburg. Gabby, you can stay with us if you want. But this is interesting, Cram. Looks like they've got this fire knocked down quite a ways.
Yeah, it looks so much better than when we last saw it roughly about a half hour ago. Before, there was heavy, thick, black smoke billowing. Now it looks like perhaps maybe firefighters have gotten a good hold on it. You can see right there in the middle of your screen a stream of water from one of their ladder trucks, putting out some what could be, remaining hot spots. But that white smoke that's really thinned out, that is a good sign because it shows that it looks like most of the fire is out. I don't see any flames, Troy. So it looks like there, as we zoom in there, that's a better view. Okay, there are some heavy flames just in that spot though, but I don't really see, much anywhere else.
So that appears to be, that looks like more like brick and mortar to me than it does an RV, but you can see the palm trees. And just beyond those palm trees where the fire is kind of, or the stream of water is shooting between the palm trees, that's kind of that burned out husk that we saw burn live on the air. So that RV is gone. But it looks like they did a really good job of getting retardant down on the big, that's called a fifth wheel trailer and kind of the top of your screen. That's a big, expensive, RV. And that looks like a single wide trailer or a park model, they call them, down below that. It looks like that was saved as well. So, but look at the ones, look at the right.
Look at the ones to the right.
Yeah, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as it goes up, 7 down below. So we may be looking at about 10 RV/mobile homes.
Those are the ones that were right up alongside that riverbed, which is where this fire started and has burned over 100 acres so far. That's the last official word as far as how big this fire was. But again, it started at the bottom of the Hasayampa River, burning on both sides. We'll give you a quick little recap here. US 60 closed in both directions from Wickenburg all the way to Morristown. And as you saw from Gabby's live shot there, you could see all that traffic heading out of town. So clearly people are leaving the area. We know that there has been a Red Cross shelter set up at Wickenburg High School. APS earlier had shut off power. We don't know if power has resumed back for areas that were affected, but hopefully from at last check from Sky 12 that this fire looks to be somewhat under control. Well,
I think the town of Wickenburg dodged a major bullet today. If we would have had any stronger winds. Gabby, I would suggest, I know Gabby you're still out there, but I would just suggest heading to that RV park because there's obviously a lot of people that had lost a lot of property out there when you get there, and you'll find it, I'm sure. That's where they're still actively fighting the fire. Thanks, Gabby. So we'll see you coming up here. I know you got a little ways still to get there, but thank you for joining. We're going to continue this breaking news coverage and our regular news coverage coming up in about 10 seconds here on 12 News. So thank you for joining us for this breaking news.
We'll see you in just a couple of minutes for 12 News at 4, which will start right now.